ready for our main event. And I got to be honest with you. Do you think if they hadn't had this match, the people that went to the shows both nights would have probably entered into a class action suit? Because this is the only thing that you can say really saved the whole thing. But Roman Reigns and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. And they wanted to see this, and the reception from the crowd was completely different than most of the other matches. They were ready for this from the start. But, of course, the entrances again. Romans started with a guy on a piano and a guy on a drums, and the fat lady was singing. But it wasn't over. It was just beginning. And pictures of all the great Samoans flashed on the screens, and Roman's entrance took 8 minutes. And then they go to aerial shots of Las Vegas and the drones. And Brian, was that CGI or AI or whatever it was? Or did they really put Punk sitting up there for a fucking video shot on the roof of that stadium? Could you tell?
I thought it was real. I didn't think it was...
It seemed halfway legitimate looking, but I'm like, motherfucker, how do you even get up there?
They did a really cool Punk video showing like a lot of the road to get here, and they used the AFI song that used to be his theme song in Ring of Honor, and pretty cool. I actually just recently introduced one of my daughters to that album. It's a great album, but that was a nice touch, and it was a really good job they did on that video.
Well, that's the thing is they had again, shots of him throughout his career, and they were mixing it in with his walk backstage to the ring. And then it was totally different the way they did it, where when he walked out onto the stage in front of the sea of people, it was all quiet. There was no music or anything playing, so you could hear the people rumbling. And then when he did It's Clobbering Time, like a moose lady, and let's all singing. And then there's the music, and boom, and down he comes, and they're singing the song. And Punk's jacket, he had a patch of Larry on his chest in memory of Larry, and he had Kerwin selfies, and one of the camera guys know one of the WWE tour guys' names on his sleeve, and a friend of his on the other side of his chest, and Harley Race's crown on the back of his jacket. And he did us a favor because his entrance only lasted 6 minutes. But then we had the in-ring introduction, so we were past 15 minutes just from the start to get to the bell. But again, I'm not going to complain about this one because at least it was good. Well, I'll say, fuck it. I let him get by with this because at least we got to see some kind of something. And I mean, we could be here 20 minutes where I could do a play-by-play of the way that they changed the momentum, or that the worm turned where one guy's in control and then the other guy, and it worked. They made it make sense. One thing led to another. They had to take all kinds of liberties with the count-out rule, again, which is not like it's not prevalent everywhere. But at least, again, this was shit that you weren't just sitting there going, why don't they get back in the ring? It was, people were into what was going on. And it seemed like it was a goddamn personal issue between the two of them, and that there was some reason for all of this. But they were back and forth out on the floor and back out, numerous times. The momentum would change numerous times. A couple of GTSs got hit, and Superman punches got punched, but nobody could capitalize fully. And then Punk started bleeding, and it added an extra. The longer they went, you could see, especially in Punk's body language, the more toll it was taking on him, and he was selling with the rubber legs. And I think Roman kind of did all of the stuff that Roman usually does here, the spears and the ooh-ahs and the Superman punches and the pace, but Punk really worked his ass off on this. And finally, Punk had hit another GTS and got a 2 count, and then Roman hit a spear and got a 2 count, and the crowd was going batshit. And then with Punk trying to fight and bleeding and Roman kind of getting the heat, the people start chanting, CM Punk, CM Punk. And then they started doing the Punk, got a second wind and got the Superman punch and got the 2 count. And got an Ula Fala from one of the fans and put it on and went for a spear, but Roman caught him in a front face lock. But Punk turned it into an Anaconda Vice, and they were with everything. The fans, I mean. And finally, it was to the fight on the knees, and they were just flailing away. And the thing about this that was different, I think, than Orton and Cody is that besides the fact that they didn't have McAfee and Jelly Roll in the middle of it, whereas I said they didn't really they didn't hate Cody. They just wanted to see the title change, and they were kind of with Orton. With this, there were people, Brian, don't you think, that fans that wanted to see Roman win real bad and fans that wanted to see Punk win real bad. And that's more of why the atmosphere was up, as well as the promos they'd done and everything.
No, absolutely. Again, there was a good dynamic here. Both guys had their fans. And I think it was a case also where some of the other guys' fans may cheer the other guy if the right thing happened or if there was the right moment.
Yeah.
And I agree with what you said earlier. This was the match of WrestleMania, by far. And if this match wasn't on WrestleMania, we'd be talking about an epic 2-night disaster. This match saved WrestleMania.
An epic 2-night presentation, drizzling and shits. But anyway, so Punk finally, his last ounce of energy. He kicked Roman out to the floor. He put him on the desk. He went to the top rope and he did the elbow drop off the top rope through the desk onto Roman. And I've got to be thinking that at some point he's thinking he's too old for this shit. And then he put Roman back in the ring and went for the GTS and hit it. And Roman bounced into the ropes, and then Punk collapsed and Roman fell on Punk's shoulders. We've seen that finish done before where he'd stand up and give the guy another one. This time he stood up, but he couldn't do it. He collapsed. And then Roman got up and was able to run and duck the thing and hit the spear. And both of them, you could tell, are almost dead. They've sold just down to the nub where they're just done. And Roman gets up and hits one more spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman is the new world heavyweight champion. It was the only big show match on either big show. And it was, again, I have no complaints besides they took obvious liberties with the rules because they had to go out there and save both days. But I think I would have rather seen Orton beat Cody and Punk retain. Are we ready to see Roman Reigns as world heavyweight champion again?
Well, you don't have to worry about that. I don't know how much you're going to be seeing him.
No, I'm hearing the rumor now is he's supposed to be around all summer.
I hate to say do what AEW did and rush a title change. Put it on Obafemi tonight. That's what I would do. That would get more positive buzz for WWE right now than anything else they could do. Just have Roman immediately drop it to one of the emerging top stars that fans have taken to. Otherwise, we're gonna have a Roman Reigns title run. We'll see if he's going to be there all the time. I don't know if he'll be as effective. And if he's not there, we'll see what they do with him. He doesn't have a bloodline. He doesn't have a Heyman. It's just him. I really want to see what Punk's going to do next. Punk has really lately, his work's been good since he returned to wrestling, but we've seen a little extra fire lately. And I've really liked it. So let's see where they go from there. Maybe he can work with a Jelly Roll or
That's what I was thinking. They've got Punk, and I said this the other day, and then I'll get off my soapbox, but they created a title, and remember we said Seth said, I'm going to establish this title as the working man's title. Well, the first guy to have one never really establishes it. No matter how good he is, you can kick it off to start. But now it's been around for a while, and Punk really, especially in this build, the World Heavyweight title was more important to WrestleMania than the WWE title. He's made it valid. I think, if anything, he should have been the one to put it on a younger guy. Whether, I don't know if it's Obafemi this quick or whatever, it's the right dynamic anyway to have that match. But
if it was the same match and it was Braun Breaker getting the win, it's different than
it could have been a Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, who is, even if Roman does a job for somebody, I'm not saying he wouldn't try to get, I think Punk would be more motivated and more knowledgeable about how to have a match to get a young guy over than Roman Reigns would be right at this very moment. We'll see.
We shall see. That was WrestleMania 42. And of course, Jim, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, while you may think that another finish may have been appropriate, I believe you called this in advance. You said that you expected 2 title changes, though we all expected Randy Orton probably, but who knows what the hell's happening over there. You made your picks.
Yes.
And it's just too bad you didn't really take advantage of it